everybody. I didn't realize that the microphone was unmuted this whole time. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube and Twitch channels. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. And today's stream has a theme. I wonder who will be able to spot the theme in today's stream. Yes, I am rhyming. Without meaning to. But I'm rhyming. I hope you're all having a good day. I still have my kidlets here sick, so unfortunately I will have to check on them every once in a while, but we've been doing okay. This chest cold is sending them for a loop, but they're all right. They're set up and everything is doing. What the hell is different with my Streamlabs? Why can I not see my Twitch chat anymore? Weird. Very weird. I cannot access Twitch chat anymore from my computer. Access more tools in mod view. No, I want to just see my chat. That's all I want. Why must things be changing? Why do things have to change on me? Silly things. Stop that. Anyway, we have as I said, we have a theme for the stream today, and I wonder if you guys can figure out what it is. So, and of course, since Gunfox was here yesterday and sent me his article that he wanted me to cover, so I've got that pulled up as well, and I think we'll start with that article because it's interesting how, considering that Trudeau is always crying about guns and how they need to be handed over and we need to buy them back and destroy them all. This article is going to highlight something very interesting that he refuses to admit. How gold becomes guns. How gold becomes guns. Heist spotlights illegal US-Canada gun trade. It's almost as if getting people's legal guns is not going to stop having illegal guns and shooting and crimes in Canada. Canadian police said the heist is not just about gold, but how gold turns into guns. The arrests that followed a sensational gold heist have shed light on the illegal gun trade between the US and Canada. Yeah, I love how everyone's like, this is shedding light on this. Yeah, like, unless you lived under a rock, it's shedding light on it. Because everybody that knew, like, anything knew that that's where all the illegal guns were coming from. Nobody was like, gee, I wonder where all these illegal guns are coming from. I have no idea. Like, there was nobody that, unless they, like I said, lived with their heads under the sand. Thousands of gold bars worth 20 million Canadian dollars, or 14.5 million British pounds, and 11.6 uh, or 11.6 million, I think, US dollars, were stolen from the Toronto airport in Canada a year ago. Police have since said the gold was sold for cash to buy guns in the US, which makes perfect sense. A lot of the guns, they'll come up through New York or they'll come up through Detroit. We have so many Port Erie. It's another one. We have so many borders with the States and so many like gang affiliations and everything. Like, this is so not a surprise. Like, this, I don't know what to say. Like, this is not a shock to me. I don't like it. Maybe it would be a shock to somebody like Justin Trudeau, who thinks, like, I don't know, illegal guns fall from the sky. I like, seriously, he's all like, we gotta get rid of the AR-15. It's like, dude, those are all bought legally. What do you, like, even the guy in Port-au-Prince, Nova Scotia, who went on that mass shooting, his AR was not illegal. All of his guns, he had a license for. So, like, I don't know what the hell Trudeau thinks he's gonna stop by getting all of the law-abiding citizens to hand over their guns. Officials allege the arrested suspects had planned to smuggle the guns into Canada, which has strict gun laws, and sell them on the black market. Yeah. This is like obvious. This isn't just about gold, said Nando Anaka, chair of the Peel Regional Police, the force responsible for the arrest of 9 suspects who were, stop yawning, who were allegedly involved in the heist. Yeah, like I said, to anybody that hasn't been paying attention, this is surprising. But to the rest of us, we're like, well, duh. This is about how gold becomes guns. Oh, excuse me. The smuggling of illegal guns from the U.S. has long been a source of concern for police in Canada, where most firearms, save for shotguns and rifles, are restricted or prohibited. Dude, I know people that own handguns legally. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, BBC? I know, I have family that had handguns. What the fuck? You can own a handgun. Well, probably not anymore, but you could own a handgun. You could own a handgun. The U.S. has enshrined the right to bear arms in the U.S. Constitution, which has made firearms regularly accessible and gun ownership a challenging political topic in America. But it also has created a lucrative illegal business in which smugglers bring guns they purchase in the U.S. to Canada, said Police Chief Bill Forty, who sits on the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police Special Purpose Committee on Firearms. Then why are you all not yelling at Trudeau about this guns buyback program? Oh wait, because you guys all probably think it's a good idea. A gun purchased in the U.S. for $500 can easily sell for up to $5,000 in Canada. Norman Proctor, a Toronto police inspector, said at a news conference last year. Jesus Christ. That's insane. A markup to $5,000 for a gun that cost $500. That is absolutely crazy. Let's see. What he's gonna do is stop upstanding citizens to be able to from being able to protect themselves from Middle Eastern immigrants. His 1940s era Germany law style laws, wild animals, or anything else they want to protect themselves from. Yep. Facts. The issue surfaced after Canada introduced stricter gun laws a few years ago in response to the 2020 mass shooting in Nova Scotia. You know, the one that involved legally obtained guns that were all owned by the man who perpetrated the shooting on the entire town of Portapique, that now nobody will fucking talk about, and that the RCMP commissioner and Justin Trudeau were accused of spinning the narrative on. And yeah, that one. The country's deadliest, in which 20 people were killed. The law included a ban on, quote, assault-style weapons. Some question the effectiveness of the ban, as the perpetrator was found to have obtained his guns legally. Yeah! Illegally. 3 were smuggled across the U.S. border from Colton, Maine. I thought he owned his guns legally. That makes even more sense as to why Trudeau and Brenda Lucki wanted to squash this, because they didn't want it to get out that these were guns from the States. They didn't. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense now that they wanted to quash this story. Chief 40 told the BBC that in 2023, 90% of handguns recovered after violent crimes in Ontario, Canada's most populous province, were traced back to the US. 90%. But it's all of our legal guns that are the problem. It's all that. That's the problem. It's the legal gun owners that did nothing wrong and followed the law to get their guns that need to give up their guns. It's not Jesus Christ. Like, what we need to be doing is, anytime a person gets arrested with a gun and it's traced back to the States, boom, another charge. And it's a good fucking hard charge that they can't dance out of. Through our tracing and analysis, we know the top states. These guns come from our Ohio, Texas, Florida, and Georgia, Chief 40 said. Some are stolen, while others are bought using straw purchasers, an individual who buys a gun for someone who is not authorized to own it. Ah, okay. So we have people who are capable of buying guns for people who are not, and then handing them off. Okay. Sometimes they are purchased in bulk, then sold on the street here for a handsome return on investment, Chief 40 said. That would make sense. You go and buy like five guns for $500 a piece. Spend like $2,500. Go up here to Canada, make 50 grand. Not a bad deal. Or not 50 grand. $5,000 times 5. Make 25,000. Still, not a bad deal for 2,500 bucks laid down, right? You spend 2,500, go make 25,000. That's so yeah, so last year's gold heist out of Toronto Pearson International Airport was the largest in North America's US history, police said. It was described as sensational, one that belongs in a Netflix series. It involved a complicated effort in which 400 kilograms or 880 pounds of gold, wow, of gold and cash were stolen from a cargo facility, on airport grounds, using a fake shipping slip. Just 42 minutes after they were unloaded from an Air Canada flight that had arrived from Switzerland. Oh, so these were straight out of Zurich. Women math. Shut up. Shut up. I suck at math. Shut up. The precious goods were then loaded and driven away in a large white cargo truck. Peel Regional Police say a photo of handguns. Oops. Oh, it's a photo. Here's a picture of it. Police seized dozens of firearms as part of the investigation into the gold heist, including handguns that were intended to be sold illegally in Canada. When announcing the arrests in the case, police revealed the robbery was carried out with the help of 2 Air Canada employees. These airline employees are now facing charges of theft over $5,000 and conspiracy to commit an indictable offense. Police later discovered that some of the gold was turned into bracelets that were then sold for cash. More layers of the scheme were uncovered after the arrest of 25-year-old Durante K. McLean, a man from Ontario who was stopped by police in Pennsylvania in September. Authorities found dozens of guns from Florida and Georgia in his possession, and they alleged that Mr. Kane McLean, who drove the getaway truck, according to police, had entered the U.S. illegally. Oh! Lovely. So he's what a lovely man. What a lovely, lovely man. Let's see what Twitch chat is up to. Okay. I don't see anything in Twitch chat. Okay. But yeah, so this, like I said, this, if you have been living under a rock, this is the only way that this will surprise you. Because anybody that pays attention will know that the gun problem is not from the legal gun owners. It is from the black market gun trade that brings guns up from the US. So, I don't know what Trudeau thinks he's doing other than, stripping law-abiding citizens of things of a privilege that they have. I don't know what else there is. I really don't. There's nothing else to say about it. It's very obvious to anybody that pays attention that that's the problem. But Trudeau and his government would have you believe that it's the legal gun owners that are the problem, and they need to have their guns taken away. Well, let's get into our theme for the stream today, shall we? It's our first video. We're gonna get this one. We're gonna do this one first. Investigating Tyler Oliveira and the Whitakers. I feel stupid because the name actually sounds familiar to me, and I'm trying to figure out why. And maybe this video will tell me.
Suspicious of what's going on here, and admittedly and regretfully, and this is my apology to Mark, it was accusatory, and we could have gotten the same information without questioning his honor and just wording everything like we did. We could have clarified with the email. If he didn't respond, you know, that would have been our answer. And if he did respond, there would have been our answer.
Oh boy. Okay, it's safe to say a lot happened for us to get here. So let's quickly start from the beginning. So Soft White Underbelly is a channel ran by a guy named Mark. He has a viral YouTube series on an inbred family from West Virginia known as the Whitakers. And it's safe to say the Whitakers have never really lived in the best conditions, and that's putting it extremely lightly.
So I have not heard of these people. Now that I'm starting to hear more, this is completely new to me, so this is going to be interesting.
So Mark gave the Whitakers roughly $153,000 over the span of a year. A majority of this money was donated by Mark's YouTube viewers via several GoFundMes with the intent to improve the Whitakers' lives and improve their home / buy them a new home. Mark...
That's insane. $153,000 raised over a year for this family. That's great. Like, wait, see, this is the good thing about social media and some of the things that can happen through it.
Mark gave the money to Betty in increments over time. But as we recently found out, the daughter of Larry, BJ, and her son, Brandon, somehow obtained this money from Betty and allegedly spent a large chunk on it on various substances. The whole situation is just incredibly depressing. Tyler, who I'm talking to today, did an investigation series on one of the poorest regions in America, the West Virginian part of the Appalachian Mountains. In the last quarter of his video, he introduced the Whitaker family and Mark from Soft White Underbelly. He first tried to get in contact with the Whitakers through Mark, but was denied because they had an alleged exclusive media contract with the family.
Okay. I don't know any of the people involved in this situation, so I'm just about as lost as everybody. Tyler is one of the drama people. Tyler is one of the YouTube drama people that all the drama people watch. Ah. The Whitakers had their own A&E special, if I remember correctly. Huh.
Not wanting to give up, Tyler got in contact with someone else close to the family and managed to visit and bring some household essentials. Tyler then showed the amount of money Mark raised for a new house for the Whitakers, then showed the world how the Whitakers are still living. After leaving the Whitakers' place, Tyler then seemed frustrated with the situation and called out Mark's honor. Made his own GoFundMe and donated 10 grand of his own money to put towards a house or living arrangements for the Whitakers.
Oh, so he basically said, he basically was calling out Mark and saying, you know, I guess you haven't donated this money. These people are still living in squalor. Here, let me donate some of my own money to this cause.
Holy shit, welcome to West Virginia. That's all I got so far. And you add again Holy shit, welcome to West Virginia. That's all I got so far. And yet it just sounds like some drama.
Holy shit, welcome to West Virginia. That's all I got so far. And yeah, that sounds like some drama. It does. I'm trying to... this is gonna get interesting.
Mark then saw this video and went on the offense against Tyler. He was definitely upset that Tyler framed his video like Mark didn't give the Whitakers the money. Mark then showed the receipts that he did in fact send the money to Betty, but admitted that he lied to Tyler about an exclusive media contract.
Oh shit! Well, at least he came clean about that. I don't know why you would lie about something like that.
Big revelation with this video is that Mark confirmed what Betty said is true and showed the money was apparently gone, as the Whitakers allegedly had no idea where the money was. Allegedly had no idea where the money was.
Okay.
Tyler then made a follow-up.
Oh God. She sounds very much like a West Virginian.
video
That's
to
all
Mark's
I can say to
response,
that.
which is now deleted, while he was sitting on the toilet with Skyrim NPC music in the background. Here he kind of kept the same tone as his original video,
Wow,
and honestly,
okay.
that video didn't do him too many favors. The most recent update in the Whitaker family is one of the daughters, BJ, told Mark that her father Larry passed away and asked Mark for money for the funeral. So Mark jumped on a plane and showed up for the funeral. And unfortunately for the Whitakers, he uncovered the truth. The dad was alive and well.
Oh shit. Oh shit. We have a scam a brewing.
There was no funeral. And just like in Tyler's video, there was no trace of the $150,000 that Mark sent to them. So Mark confronted Betty about the money.
I'm just starting to wonder about the whole gang here. Everybody.
I ain't getting into it.
What's that?
I ain't getting into it.
You're not getting into it.
I'm not getting into it. Is she on an oxygen machine? That's what it sounds like. She sounds like she's on oxygen or something.
I think when money gets involved, things get fishy around here.
Huh?
I think when money gets involved, things get crazy.
Yeah.
Give it 25,700. Actual price 25,869.
But like, that was a lot of money that you guys got. Did
I know. I know.
any of that help you, or did it all go up in smoke?
No, it didn't help me.
It didn't help you.
That was the biggest
Wow. No, it didn't help me.
That was a lot of money that you guys got. Did any of that help you, or did it all go up in smoke?
No, it didn't help me.
It did.
And she's so cavalier about it. Teddy is dancing on his own damn grave, dagnabbit. That was funny. I like that.
It didn't help you.
That was the biggest shock of his video. Mark sent her over $150,000 and apparently it didn't help her. The other revelation was that BJ talked about actually having some sort of contract with Mark after all. Meanwhile, tied up in the middle of this chaos, Ray, Timmy, and Lorraine, they're just not there enough to understand what's actually going on, and they suffer as a result. So I reached out to both Mark and Tyler to see if any of them wanted to come onto my channel and go a little bit more into detail on what happened.
Oh, interesting. Are we about to get some dirt?
And what's going to happen moving forward. And both of them actually responded very quickly, but Tyler was the only one who wanted to come onto the channel. So here's my conversation with Tyler first. Thank you, Tyler, for coming on and doing this.
Thank you for having me, man.
No worries. So just so we're on the same page with everything, I'm going to kind of go through like the TLDR of the situation. Soft White Underbelly is a channel run by a guy named Mark, and he gave the Whitakers...
I want to say that was a very succinct summary of a lot of super complicated details
Oh, he just summarized everything. Okay.
and lengthy videos over the last 4 weeks. So I think that's all pretty accurate. There's definitely a few things I probably want to add to and clarify, though, if I can. I want to set the stage a little bit for why we went there, what we do as a channel, and how this all kind of played out. I mean, the premise of what we do on the channel is go to places, ask people questions. We wanted to make a video about West Virginia, and I know about the Whitakers just as anyone else knows about the Whitakers from Mark's videos.
Okay, so
He
it's
apparently
only
like discovered
from-
them like 20 years ago or something, far ago, took a
So it's only from this Mark dude that the Whitakers became known. Okay. Okay, I see.
photo of them, came this thing, and he has all these videos, and I'm intrigued about them just as much as anyone else. So I reach my producer at the time, who is also named Tyler, no
Yeah.
joke, reaches out to them, and we ask for the phone number to come down and visit. We get that exclusivity contract you mentioned. His assistant named Noel says, we have an exclusivity contract. Thank you for asking us. We appreciate you considering us, but basically you can't film with them. So
Which, why would you lie about that? Like, that's weird. Why would you lie about something like that? Unless you don't want anybody else to... I don't even know. Unless you don't want anybody else to, like, get access to this group of people, but that's kind of weird. I don't understand that.
So I want to establish just off off the bat here, I have no beef with Mark. There's not some long-standing multi-channel history with multiple videos of us poking at him. But I definitely want to be honest and say from the get-go, that raised my suspicion radar of what's going on here a little bit.
That would do it for me too. Like, exclusivity contract? What the fuck? Like, you're not. This is YouTube. We're not like Hollywood or you know, whatever. This is YouTube here. What do you mean exclusivity contract?
It's pretty atypical to hear of something like that, unless you're like a Hollywood actor.
Thank you.
And also, if you watch The Family, it doesn't seem like something they could, you know, consent to. Or
consent or sign. Yeah, they would need a guardian to sign for that, almost.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in my head, it immediately brought some questions to mind of what's going on here.
And I hate to say it, but like, it feels like the way, like, and it feels like the way that they're talking, like they don't have the education to navigate a contract like that. It's like, and I don't want to sound like mean, but that's just how they sound.
Just like Mark did originally, I said, why don't we just go down there ourselves, say what's up? We found someone who built a relationship with them, checks in with them daily. We offered, hey, we're just gonna go bring some groceries down, say what's up. Cool. She gave us the information for the family. We meet up with the family. When we end up in West Virginia, I have no clue what's going on besides that email. And for all I know, because I think there was a month or two gap, there was no Whitaker update video on Mark's end. There's enough time to, like, there could be a house there when I showed up that's brand new. For all I know. So we show up, they're still living in the same piece of crap house, basically. You wouldn't want your grandparents living there. So my question is, I get this email that says, hey, you can't speak to these people or film with them. And I know about these GoFundMes, yet the house situation is the exact same. So there's some disconnect there. So we drop off the groceries. We basically do what is a wellness check, because there's also these videos on the internet at the time that are saying Betty's dead, Ray's dead. There's some channel like spamming fake news of like the family members dying.
Oh shit. That's lovely. Farming engagement through saying people are dead. Isn't that great? I don't get why people do that. What is with that? They do it with celebrities too. I don't understand this whole like saying someone's dead when they're not, just for engagement farming.
Every month, according to this channel. It's also the middle of winter right now. West Virginia's, you know, in snow. It's kind of up a windy road. It's a bit remote. These are old people we're talking about. The story takes a little twist, but we show up there. They're all alive. The house is in as much disrepair as it was previously. And I asked them, you know, what's going on with the money? This is what she says.
How's the house coming along?
What house?
I
don't know what house. We have to Mark about the house.
What did Mark say about the house? Paige wants to get an update.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think he's...
Mark told we ain't got no more money in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, no, we filled up.
From my understanding, there's like, I don't know, $50,000 or $60,000 in there. Has Mark given you guys an update?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you guys have talked to Mark?
I talked to Mark the other day.
The other day? Okay.
Okay, cool. Glad you guys are alive.
I talked to Mark the other day, but I don't know where the money is. I don't know what house you're talking about. That's shady as fuck. That, I would be asking questions too at this point.
Alive, here's the groceries. I learned that about the GoFundMe. We dip, and I basically leave with a bunch of questions of what's going on here.
How long were you there, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably literally less than 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
If that's relevant.
Did you meet anyone else than what was shown in your video, or was it just the main group? Because you didn't meet BJ and them, right?
No, we didn't meet BJ. We didn't meet Larry. We didn't meet any of the grandchildren that are mentioned, or the children of BJ. We met everyone shown in the video. So literally just like, it's not like we showed up and content farmed. Like, We didn't show up and film for 10 hours or
Right.
make 20 videos.
It was just one little video. They dropped off some stuff and asked some questions. That makes sense. That should be allowed. I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's like 7 minutes of however long the 30-minute video. It's not even a focus piece on this family. We're in West Virginia. We're on this road trip. At the end of the southwest corner of West Virginia is odd. I thought it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. We showed up. We spend 30 or 40 minutes there. We learn these things. We drop off the groceries. I fulfill some, curiosity of, I've seen this family on YouTube. They're like an international sensation. And I'm also just genuinely curious after getting that email of, is there something going on here? It's one of these situations where, like, it smells like shit. It looks like shit. It feels
It probably
like
is
shit. But it turns out it was like chocolate pudding or something in between, because things get a little more complicated. I see this, we put out the video, and at the end of it, I gotta admit and owe Mark an apology here, because I'm highly passive aggressive with my word choice, how I say this. There's definitely some confusion, and I definitely think something shady's going on here, whether or not I say that directly. The tone and how I said it was accusatory, and for that I do apologize to Mark. And I do think we could have learned all that we've learned by going to them saying, hey, Mark, we heard this back from the family. We stopped by for a visit. Would you like to add or clarify what's going on here with the money?
Yes, that definitely should have been something you did. As somebody who, if you're gonna call yourself like a reporter or like an investigator of any kind, you should have gone back to Mark and been like, hey, Betty said this. What the hell does that mean?
He probably could have presented that same information, and then we would have learned where the money actually went. So I regret not doing that. And I think part of the reason we didn't do that is because I didn't think there was a communication line there realistically. In my head, the idea of him saying there's an exclusive contract, we go there, we film with them, and then ask for like an itemized financial breakdown just doesn't seem like a realistic outcome that they would respond to.
That makes sense, but you still probably should have tried. I'm just gonna say that. You probably should have tried to say, like, hey, dude, I know you said you had an exclusivity contract, but I went and, like, I was doing something on West Virginia, and at the very end of my video, I popped in and saw them, and I found some things out that I'd like clarified. That's what you could have said.
So I guess we forced his hand to respond in some capacity. Basically, I get this email. There's questions raised in my head. I'm curious. We're making this video in West Virginia. He's not the only person that knows them, but there's very few people that have known the family and that have publicly had any record of interacting with the family. I find Paige. She connects us with the family. We show up, drop off the groceries. We learn this. Video goes out. I'm suspicious of what's going on here. And admittedly and regretfully, and this is my apology to Mark, it was accusatory, and we could have gotten the same information without questioning his honor and just wording everything like we did. We could have clarified with the email, and if he didn't respond, that would have been our answer. And if he did respond, there would have been our answer, right? We could have given him, in hindsight, if I was in his position, I would have appreciated if someone like you are doing with me right now, following up and saying, hey, can we get your statement on this?
Yeah, that definitely would have been a better way to go. Because now you've created an extra layer of confusion on top of the drama that's already here over the money. Now you've created this extra layer of drama between you and this YouTuber.
Like, I have to be realistic. That's obviously how I would have wanted this to go down if I were him. So I understand the frustration on his end. But after that, a lot of things come to light and we learn a lot. So Mark responds with this video.
Firstly, it seemed like Mark was like kind of hurt by how you framed your video. He was first kind of like showing like, guys, I did not scam them. Here is all of the receipts that I actually sent them this money.
This brings up a good point, and this is something I'd like to clarify, is that I definitely get where he's coming from, and I agree. If I were in his position, I would have wished that someone would have sent me an email. Where I think it's a little bit tough for the viewer and myself is that there are tons of people in the comment section previous to me making that video asking what happened to the GoFundMe, where's the house. There's also smaller channels that have brought this up, and then it seems like the channel of my size is what it took to get that response out of them.
Interesting.
From my perspective at the time, there's not.
So he's making the allegation that because smaller channels were asking questions, he felt that he could let it slide and let it like maybe fly under the radar because those channels were smaller. But hey, Costin. But then when somebody of Tyler's size started asking questions, then he felt obligated to answer them. That's interesting.
There's not a friendly communication line here. I think there's some level of, they don't want us to film there. Stay away. So it's like, hey, can you give us an itemized financial breakdown ASAP before we put out our weekly video? It doesn't seem super realistic, but maybe he would have, because within, I don't know, like 12 hours, there's a response video where he shows the bank statements, and it's basically thousands of dollars every 2 to 4 weeks he's wiring to Betty Whitaker. And this thing's
it would have made you look a lot better if you at least showed an email that you made an attempt to reach out for some sort of response on it.
That's
I feel like that's a big thing you should have done differently in hindsight.
Oh, 100%. I agree. I think that's our takeaway here. It's like, just in hindsight, it's one of these tough things where it just doesn't seem like there's a friendly.
I see. Well, I mean, like, I understand he kind of shut you down previously already.
It doesn't matter. It's still, like, even if he shuts you down again, you include that in your video, right? You say that. You go, we reached out to him and he shut us down. But you have to actually make that effort.
I got the shutdown, like, get away, kid.
Yeah.
Get away, boy. He obviously thinks, like, I would have responded, but, the reality is there's some public pressure. Our video put a bunch of eyeballs on the situation, and he felt the need to respond, and he did. And he showed the receipts of the money.
And there's, like, no question that, like, no one has helped this family out like Mark has. Like, Mark has clearly done more for this family than, like, anyone else, it seems like. Although the money seems to have been misappropriated. Like, if he's raising money for a house, that should be going to a house.
Yeah.
And then I'm also kind of shocked that it took 150 grand to find out, the money's not going to anything productive here.
Why would you not, if you really wanted the house, like, if you wanted a house for them, why not have the GoFundMe and then, like, say, like, put the money in an account and then either find a house near their location or, like, hire somebody to build a house? Like, why not do it that way? Why are you wiring money to this person and expecting them to hold on to it and have a house, like, for them? Like, why? Do you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, I mean, there's levels to this conversation, but we have to be realistic a little bit here too, right? I mean, part of the core points too of what I brought up in the original video was there's, I think, 14 videos at the time, a cumulative total of like 89 million views on YouTube. These are soft, monetized videos. Like, there's a lot of money to be made. The family's benefiting off of Mark creating these GoFundMes and directing his audience to donate, and the audience is donating to the family, and Mark is going out there and he gets videos out of this that generate him money as well.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is like the business model of a lot of YouTube channels, right? Mr. Beast. Like, it's like the person on the other side benefits through the charity, and the charity is funded through the viewership. It's a cool thing. The unique thing to social media. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's a little bit dishonest to say that there's no incentive for him to be out there to make these videos.
I agree. For him to say I have no incentive, that's not true at all. Because he clearly does. He's making money off of this. So, like, that's disingenuous.
And then, to sell books with their images in their faces. But that's cool. I think if everyone's consenting to everything and they like the guy, like that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with. I just want us to be honest with. There's a symbiotic relationship at play here.
Yes.
Well, clearly he's benefiting, but they're also like he's helped them more than anyone. I don't think there's any other way they'd get funneled 150 grand over the span of a little over a year.
Well, let's keep walking down the storyline here and identify where the money went. I think that's part of an important lesson from the story and where we can go forward from this. He responds, I respond on the toilet. I want to emphasize here that the toilet has the best acoustics in any household. Tiny, little to no bounce back off the walls. It's a great place to record audio.
So why the Skyrim NPC music? Because that's how you responded to Brent Rivera as well.
What? I don't know. I would not respond from the toilet. That is not something I would do. But that's just me.
Yeah, I just, I like the game. I like the sound design. Maybe I should have done it with no audio. I'll be honest. Maybe it makes light of the situation when it shouldn't have been. I don't know. I thought it was a silly touch. We threw it in there.
Because it almost makes it come across as like a parody.
Yeah, it almost makes my response ironic.
Yeah.
Listen, I made a mistake with the Skyrim music. It is what it is. I'm basically saying, listen, I just posed the questions. I was asking questions. All I did was ask questions. I'm not accusing him. But in reality, it was an emotionally charged reaction on my end. I responded within like 3 or 4 or 5 hours of his video. I do acknowledge, looking back, that it was accusatory through my tone, through the way the words were structured. Even if I wasn't explicit, it was implicitly like I called his honor into question. And then
at least he's admitting that he was really passive aggressive about it. Like, that's at least something that I can give him credit for. Like, he's admitting that he was like, yeah, I was passive aggressive. I didn't do my due diligence in an email to Mark. Like, at least he's owning it.
Through my tone, I'm also implying there's something shady going down.
Yeah.
And it turns out there was something going down with the money. I think I was just pointing my finger at the wrong direction here. Because the story gets even crazier.
Yeah. You stirred the pot, and then things just got to a crazy boiling point.
Well, I think I flipped over the rock, and I thought there was something very specific under that rock, and it turns out it was something else entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so what happens next, I guess, is what we covered in the intro, where BJ, who my understanding is the daughter of Betty.
Daughter of Larry, from my understanding.
Daughter of Larry, okay. And she called Mark saying that Larry passed away. I also have a question. Did she call you?
This is a great point. So I am in Jamaica at the time. I get probably 84 phone calls, rough estimate, within a day, every 5 minutes or so, from an unknown phone number.
Holy shit.
I eventually answer like phone call number 40, and I speak to BJ on the phone. She says, hey, I need $150 for some clothes and some groceries for the family.
$150. She called fucking, holy crap. She called him, like, what did he say, 84 times?
And first of all, I have never spoken to BJ. I've never met BJ.
How did she even get his phone number? Like, he'd never, like he just said, like, he didn't meet her that day. He was up at the house. How did she even get his number?
I know who she is by proxy of the family, but I didn't meet her down there. I also have been told that there may be some drug problems involved as relates to her. And I'm also skeptical of just sending money to anyone, for that matter, and setting the precedent for being an ATM that could be used for questionable things.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to be, even with a good friend, you don't want them to get into the habit of calling you up and being, hey, can I have some money?
So I answer the phone. I say, hey, I'm in Jamaica right now. I'm going to be back tomorrow. We can hop back on the phone tomorrow, figure something out. I fly back to the United States. And also, she calls me like 40 times in between.
Jesus.
So this is like insane behavior. I just want to establish.
So he called. He answered her on call number 40. He told her, "I'll talk to you tomorrow," and then she kept calling him. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm getting 80 phone calls from anyone is a wild thing. I don't know what's going on. I've never spoken to her before. I don't know how she got my number. I eventually answer. I didn't send her cash initially. I'm suspicious of what's going on here. I'm hesitant to set the precedent for being an ATM for the family that is in any function beyond getting them a home. The next day, I'm pretty certain I see the video with Mark. That video comes out where he hops on a red-eye flight, apparently, flies to West Virginia and confronts her for using the money for other means.
Yeah.
Oh,
But what
shit.
you and your audience and the rest of the world has not seen or heard of what we've been up to behind the scenes the last 30 days. I did my toilet review, my toilet update, and then we've been working on something for the last 30 days I'd like to update you and everyone else on at some point, if we can.
We got to Mark's recent video, which was like a 50-minute long video where he
Holy
just
fuck.
showed up, and we found out Larry's live and well.
Surprise! Larry's not dead. Surprise! The money's gone. No money for anybody.
And
Except for BJ.
they actually, he also, I don't know if you noticed or watched the video, but they also asked about you. And
Yep.
Mark was like,
Watched the whole thing.
I don't know him. I have nothing to do with
Wow.
him.
Yep. Yeah, I
Um,
watched the whole thing. I mean, obviously, here's the only thing I would say is I spoke to BJ on the phone. I did not give her money. I was suspicious of what was going on, the urgency by which they needed money. None of it made sense. And also, she never mentioned her dad died.
Nah.
That was not the story sold to me. I was told we need money for groceries.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she
So that means she escalated. She tried to get money from Tyler. Tyler said no. So then she went to Mark and she amped up the story. You know, clothes and groceries didn't work for this other guy. I know. Mark, my dad's dead. I need money for the funeral. Jesus Christ. This is insane. Ugh. This is absolutely crazy. It just keeps getting worse and worse.
she pitched me a different concept of why they needed money, which was groceries and food. But I never knew Larry died until I saw Mark's video, which apparently he was not dead. I learned the situation with Larry through Mark's 54-minute video. The day after I uploaded the toilet video, I'm like, all right, I see that Mark has sent the money. There's no money left in the GoFundMes. We're going to get them a house. Let's figure out how to get them a house. So me and my producer, Matthew, we're basically working tirelessly to figure this out. And this is like his full-time project.
Yeah.
Let's get them a house. So at first we say, all right, let's collaborate with the sponsor, buy a house. They can move into the house. Boom, done. Problem solved. Easy, right?
That would make sense. Except it's never going to be that easy. Because there's always a snag. We never know where it's going to be, but there's always a snag.
We reach out to tons of sponsors that would want to, touch the situation because it got a little messy with the drama and whatnot. But we eventually find a sponsor that is willing to collaborate with us to purchase the home. We speak to the family to figure out if they're down to move into this house or a home in general. The family comes back to us and basically says, hey, we don't want to move. This is where we've grown up in. This is where we grew up as kids. We have neighbors here that protect us. We have some privacy and they have some land. The family owns some land. So think of your grandparents, some old folks who have grown up on a parcel of land. It's tough to uproot these people and move
So
them
build a
to an
house.
entirely different property. They've become very famous. It's understandable they might not want to move, which
Build a new house. Repair the house. Renovate the house. Why can't we use that $150,000 to fix the house? Why is this such a big deal?
it made sense to me. I was like, all right, if they don't want to move, what if we could bring a house to them? So we start researching mobile homes and modular homes. We eventually find a few modular home companies. If you're not familiar with what a modular home is, It's basically like a real life Lego set home you can install into a given location, and they're really nice and they're really cost effective. So we find something for roughly $75,000 plus or minus a few $1,000s. Probably would end up being 80 grand to install this house, and we can install it right next to their property. And we also get this industrial cleaning company, this lady, to agree to help us clean their previous property, their current place they stay in, and then we could put the property right next to it. Boom. So they'd have double the living space, one brand new, and we could throw some IKEA furniture with some of the GoFundMe money, whatever.
So they're actually trying to like solve the problem. They're trying to come up with a solution that keeps them on their land and actually gets the money used.
Get them the modular home was the priority, though. We found a modular home company in West Virginia that was willing to sell us this modular home for $80,000, give or take. So I paid the deposit. I signed the contract to buy the modular home. 2 weeks or so go by. So this is roughly 15 days ago. The company comes back to us and says, hey, we can't be a part of this, and we can't really explain why.
Okay. We can't be a part of this, and we can't explain why. What? What the fuck does that mean? Why, like, what kind of company says that? We can't help you, and we can't say why. Okay. Weird, but all right. I think this is a good time to do a be right back break. So hold on a second. Let's switch scenes, and I will mute, and everybody go get their... Let's get my microphone muted, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. Excuse me. So, Duck Dog, you just joined. What's this about? The Whitaker family from West Virginia. I don't know if you know about them. I didn't know about them until today. So we're... Oh, so you do know about them. Okay.
So I'm like, okay, that's pretty weird. What's going on here? Or did they just not want to be a part of the situation? They refund me the $500 despite us having signed this contract. They don't want to be a part of it. They're not going to install the home. We called them back, asked for a little more details. They're very vague. And they mentioned, not wanting to go out there and work with, the family in such close proximity.
Interesting. They don't want to be in such close proximity to the family. Why? Are they cannibals? Are they gonna eat them? What the fuck?
And I would imagine there's probably a lot of reasons why they didn't want to be a part of it.
So they knew what it was for, essentially. Did you give them the rundown on this is the Whitaker's family and so on?
They have to know the address, and they're they're famous amongst West Virginia. It's a lot of people know who these people are when you give them the exact address. And then we had to explain the situation, and they knew who they were. So there's a bit of a reputation that precedes the family, the situation, and just, some people, I guess, are not comfortable going there.
So they're a fucked up family, and everybody knows they're a fucked up family. And everybody in West Virginia is just like, nah, we need to just leave this alone. And here come these other people from out of state. They're like, let's help. And people in West Virginia are like, no. No.
There's also this whole reputation if you show up, a shotgun wielding neighbor might show up and tell you to get out of here.
Okay.
Basically, everyone knows about the Whitakers in that area.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not good.
It's crazy. Me and my guy Matthew are like, all right, let's go back to square one, see if we can find another company that'll sell us the same model. Because basically these modular home companies are the equivalent of car dealerships. They oftentimes sell the same vehicles and they're just salesmen. And then there's the actual manufacturers that sell the homes. I reach out to the second modular home company. They agree to sell us the exact same model of modular home. It's roughly the exact same price. And we just need to figure out how to get a certain part of the land leveled. So they need to send a contractor out there, basically confirm that the land is viable to install the modular home. So my guy Matthew and I are following up with the company. Basically,
they're doing a lot more work than Mark did. Probably the mental instability. Probably. But it feels to me like Mark was just like, let's raise money and give it to them. But it feels like Tyler is more like, no, let's actually help these people.
Basically every single day, asking for details, asking for if there's anything we can do to expedite this. They send out the contractor. The contractor looks at the property, gives us a quote of $12,000 to make this section of their land viable. Cool, kumbaya, we're ready to buy this house. The $1,000 is already down, or paid to them.
Then the second company backs out. That's my guess. That's my guess.
Everything looks great for the second modular home. We're good to go, but they still haven't given us a contract. The first modular home did give us a contract. We paid the deposit. We signed the contract. They backed out. The second modular home, we put the $1,000 down.
They didn't give us a contract.
They've sent the contractor out. My guy's checking in every single day.
Contract's in the mail, bro. It's in the mail, bro. Trust me.
They send the contractor out. They assert the land is viable. We get the quote. We're ready to pay for everything, cash in hand. We're not financing the place. We want to buy it and give Betty the title. Like, I'm not here to buy it under my name.
No.
I want to buy the property.
This is what you do with people who can't, like, financially take care of themselves, right? You don't give them the money. You use the money, and you okay, what is this money supposed to be for? A house? Okay. Let's get a house to you. And we'll use the GoFundMe money to do that. That's what you do. You don't just hand them $150,000. That's how you get, like, even if Betty herself did not misappropriate the money, she was able to be manipulated into giving it to her daughter.
Give Betty the title. They would install it over the course of like 6 to 8 weeks. And boom, they have a house and they have a newly cleaned property that they already owned. So double the space, it's both clean, and they don't have to move. So they get to stay in their ancestors' land and where they feel comfortable and where they have neighbors that accept them for who they are. Mark uploads this video with BJ. It turns out BJ has gotten a large portion of this GoFundMe money and has been using it for questionable means. Basically, the money has not gone towards the house, as we all suspected and knew. I thought, maybe Mark hadn't sent the money, or he had used it, or maybe he was waiting to send it at some point. Roughly 2 days later, or a day later, I'm not sure the exact date, the modular home company comes back to us and says, hey, we don't want to be a part of this drama. We don't want to be in the middle of these two audiences.
Nope.
We're not doing this. So my producer, Matthew, calls me. He's like, hey, I have bad news. They're not going to sell us the property. I'm like, what do you mean they're not going to sell us the property? What's the mission statement of the company? He's like, to sell affordable housing. We learned on like their mission statement, this company is to sell affordable housing. I'm saying, so I'm at this point a little bit frustrated. Like, why can we not buy this house?
Because nobody wants to get involved with a bunch of mentally unstable people that money is just going to disappear with. Nobody wants to get involved with that shit.
Has nothing to do with the drama. At the core of it, agree or disagree with what some of the extended family members have used the money for. Put the money aside. At the core of it, these are old folks who live in a remote area, who don't live in the best living circumstances. Let's put them in better living circumstances. It's not that deep.
No.
Clearly, no one can handle that amount of cash being presented to them up front.
Nope.
The cash that was presented to them was a recipe for disaster, I think. We saw the downfall of how that money was spent, how that GoFundMe money was spent, that Mark's viewers donated to him with the hope that it would be responsibly used and go towards a home.
That's why he should have kept it in escrow. Like, if Mark had kept it in escrow and started this modular home thing from the get-go, like done what Tyler had done from the get-go, they probably would have a modular home by now. They could have bought with that money. They could have furnished it, cleaned up the other place, and then, like, everything would have been fine. But no, Mark decided, I'm going to hand these people $150,000, and then they're going to figure out what to do with it. That's not how that works.
And then when they learned it wasn't towards a home, everyone, including myself, was trying to figure out where this money went. And it turns out a lot of that went towards
drugs,
funding BJ's, habits.
And her son, apparently, one of her sons as well. Yeah.
This is what they're saying, right? I don't think we're going to get an itemized invoice breakdown of where the money actually went, but that's what we learned through Mark's video, which it adds up. I mean, that makes sense. I, too, was wondering, where did this money go? What happened to all this? And this explanation, it makes sense. Here's what sucks. The GoFundMe Mark's audience raised, all the money in there is gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't have a house.
Nope. And now nobody will work with them to get them a house because of all of this shit. If it had just been done this way from the get-go, they would have a house to live in. But because it was mishandled so badly, and because they were just handed all of this money, and you know what mom isn't gonna, I have money, honeys, here you go. I, you know, she's enabling her daughter, right?
And well, that's about it. They still don't have a house, I guess is my point. So I'm in the position of like, listen, I turned this rock over. It became this whole thing. I don't want to be a part of any drama anymore. I don't have any beef with Mark as a human being. I definitely regret how my tone was and the accusatory nature of how I presented the information to my audience and how I called him out. That was a mistake, and I formally owe him an apology. And I wanted to come here and talk with you because you're a third party. You're not directly involved. You're not emotionally biased here. Here's my proposition.
Okay.
I propose that Mark and I go 50-50 on a modular home. I pay my portion of this directly to the modular home company. He pays his portion directly to the modular home company. I don't need to be there with cameras unless he wants me to be there. I don't want any more videos out of this. I'm not here to milk the situation, but I do feel a level of responsibility to my word and to just human decency to get this thing solved. It's all laid out. I think if Mark is involved, then the company will feel comfortable that they're not in the middle of this feud. I'm not asking for Mark to, forgive how I handled this in his perspective or to think of me as a good person. But here's a solution for us to get this family a home. It's all laid out. I'll go 50-50 on the financing right now. With him involved, there's no concern on the modular homes company of we're in the middle of this because we're together. I want to extend the olive branch here.
That's the best way to do it. That is the best way to do it. This is literally the only way to solve this for the modular home company to feel safe. When you have any amount of money, the first thing you do is get a lawyer and set up a trust. Yep. Absolutely.
We can get this family in their home. We don't have to ask for donations from the viewers anymore. We fund it ourselves. We go 50-50, buy the house, call it a day. That's what I'd like to propose. And I wanted to bring this up via you and through you because I'll be honest, I shouldn't have been involved in this. I regret being involved in this because it's become an entire shit show. When we went down there, I didn't think it would become such a fiasco. I thought we'd ask some questions, maybe we'd see a house, maybe we'd get an answer from Betty. He had good intentions with raising the money for the family because he sent the money. I mean, he showed us the bank statements. He sent the money. But that being said, I don't want to upload more videos on my channel. I'm not trying to milk the situation. Initially, I thought there was an opportunity for us to come together and solve this. But in hindsight, I was accusatory in tone and the way I phrased it all, and I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have said it that way. I think there was an opportunity for us to actually have probably combined forces and gotten it handled. Absolutely. I don't regret posing the initial question because out of that question, we learned a lot. We learned we got updates from the GoFundMe, which Mark didn't update the audience with. We got updates on how the money was spent. The only concern these companies have are being in the middle of a drama feud, which is what it has become.
All they don't want.
I've experienced it on my end. I've gotten, tens of thousands of death threats and go jump off a cliff. Whatever. Think of it. I've gotten it from his audience. He's gotten, where's the money? From my audience, where's the money? Did you send the money? Are you a scammer? We've both gotten this feedback from each other's audiences. I think at the end of the day, we both want to help the family. Cameras in or cameras out.
That's what it seems like to me. Like, it seems like both of you guys had good intentions going into this.
Yeah, I think it's an unfortunate case of I thought there was something going on. I showed up at the source herself, Betty. I asked Betty what was going on. I don't know if she fully understood the situation or not, but what she told me led me to believe a very specific thing of there's something shady going down here. Mark clarified that through his video, and then it turns out the money was squandered.
Yeah.
Addiction's a bitch, guys.
And then also, because Mark was saying in his video that they kept calling about a car broke down or stuff like that. And now in his most recent video, you saw they would go to the lengths of faking the death of her father. So like how did the car actually break down? What was this money actually being used for? And because that brings everything into question. And it's just unfortunate because it ended up being, I guess, Mark and his audience kind of getting scammed. And as I stated in the start of this video, I also reached out to Mark, but he declined to jump onto an interview. His response to me was, Arling, drama like the garbage Tyler started makes me want to quit social media. I want no part of this circus he created. As for the Whitakers, I've learned in the past few days that I can't trust any of the Whitakers now. Giving them money or help of any kind seems like rewarding bad behavior. I'm moving on. Tyler wanted to start some trouble. Now he can deal with the same problem I had. Good luck. So
that's not really the look you want to get. I don't think that's a good response. I think that I would understand. That might be my initial response. Like, I might want to say something like that, but after thinking it over, I would probably say something different. But that seems a little bit what's the word? Dismissive?
So I guess the Whitakers turned into a dystopian game of hot potato between two influencers, and unfortunately, they kind of played themselves, as they had two massive creators trying to help them, but they misled, they lied to, and they used both of them. Also, I do have to admit, I thought I was going to argue with Tyler going into this call because I thought he was going to have the same demeanor as in his first and second video. But he was pretty straightforward about apologizing and just wanting to move the situation forward in the best way possible. And I guess that is really all he can do as of now. Tyler did provide me with receipts of him putting down a deposit to buy multiple modular homes with his own money. But unfortunately, as he stated, every company he tried to buy one from ended up refunding him and pulling out of the whole situation. Here's the receipts of that, but I'm censoring the names and companies since clearly they wanted to stay out of this. And he also sent me a 38-minute phone call with him and one of the companies, and it was essentially like Tyler walking out on Shark Tank and trying to pitch the company on why they should sell him a house after all, with a little plot twist that the company can't hang up on him because that is apparently bad customer support. So the phone call just goes in circles for 38 minutes.
Wow. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Just playing. Let's play Shark Tank with a modular home company.
I think I'm just gonna spare all of our time here, but TLDR, the company is worried about the potential negative PR and the safety of their workers, which I guess is fair. Tyler also shared an email with me confirming that he apologized directly to Mark and not just here on my YouTube channel. But I left the call with him in hopes of being able to talk to Mark as well and maybe even getting both of them on a call together, but sadly that did not work out. Tyler announced that he's going to give the funds raised in his GoFundMe in home repairs rather than buying them a modular home, as no company will allow him to buy a home. And I guess that is the best option because clearly the Whitakers can't be trusted with large sums of money. Overall, the whole situation is just extremely chaotic and had a bunch of sad plot twists. So that's all I have for right now, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
That's what I mean. Like Duck Dog said, you gotta have a lawyer, gotta have a trust, gotta make sure that everything, especially if it's crowdfunded like that. Like, that's why I was so transparent with the wedding stuff and why we couldn't carry on with the wedding because of COVID and everything. That's why I was updated, and that's why I killed the GoFundMe when I did, because of COVID and everything and the licensing issues. But I was super transparent, and I still have the dress, and I still want to use it. I still want to I still want to do it. But it just wasn't in the cards at the time, and I was honest about that and killed the GoFundMe. That's what you do. You gotta be transparent when you crowdfund, and you can't, if you're doing a third part, if you're raising money for somebody, it gets even more dicey. So apparently, Just Curly Things was banned, and she got her appeal denied. I didn't know that.
I got one last one here. Just Pearly Things. Remember Just Pearly Things?
The girl,
Pearl Davis.
Yeah, the right wing.
Y'all loved. Actually, hold on. B3. That's your homegirl, fam.
What do you mean?
Just Pearly Things. You were defending her last time we brought her up, bro.
That girl. She's annoying.
She lost her YouTube channel last time that we brought her up, right?
Sorry.
Or no, she didn't lose her YouTube channel. She got demonetized.
Haha. Sucker. You peddling stupid bullshit like that, you should get demonetized.
Right?
I don't want to say good to that because we've been there before.
Yeah.
Fuck with that.
2 times.
Yeah, I'm all right.
That's just true.
I'm all right. I don't want
Right?
karma coming in a see-through dress and stilettos for my ass.
Right? But her Fresh and Fit was first.
Yeah.
And actually not Fresh and Fit. Let's really take it back. Like Nick Fuentes, all those different people like that. They were first.
Yeah.
Alex Jones, all those guys. They
Those are
were
my
first.
guys. On the right-wing side of the media,
Yes.
like
Those are
all
the
new
guys.
media,
Getting
even Tate,
demonetized. Andrew Tate,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He was before Fresh and Fit. He got
Yeah.
demonetized or
Yep.
lost his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And Fresh and Fit was more the most popular because of their show.
Yeah.
When they got demonetized, that's when you started really seeing the trend really happening. But then Pearl got hit with it too. And that was like 2 months ago. One thing with demonetization, you can apply for an appeal like I did and won the appeal. She didn't win the appeal.
Oh shit. Well, yeah, because when you sit there and you peddle legitimate hatred, you're not gonna get appeal. You're not gonna get that back. You're just not. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. This is why she lost her TikTok account. Cause she's just so goddamn horrible.
Damn.
And in this video, she also mentions that she deleted 20,000 videos.
She deleted them?
1,000? First of all, she had 20. Her YouTube channel has only been around for. Let's quickly look this up. Let's look this shit up. I'm curious now. Because it'll tell you when her channel was made. Okay. Let me look here. No, I'm not subscribing. Where is her? She now only has 237 videos. How old is the channel? Yeah, okay, her channel has got to be only about 2 years old. But she had 20,000, she had more than 20,000 videos up. Because she literally vomits videos every day. My channel is older than Pearl's. My channel is 6 years old, okay? My channel is 6 years old. It will be 7 years old. No, it'll be 6 years old this August. Okay? 7 years old this August. And I don't even have 2,000 videos. And I stream and put up videos and stream. Holy fuck.
Yes, because one of the things, like, I'll give you guys some more like insight, right? The first time the demonetization happened was because of the style of the content that was on the channel. We used to smoke like crazy on, like we're still the most smoked out podcast, and we still smoke.
Yeah, but
I don't think that number is accurate unless she includes every single platform. Like, it could include all the clips that are all over the internet. Maybe. I mean, she did have a lot of, like, she was uploading a lot every day, though. She was uploading, like, 5 or 6 videos a day. So, But I don't know. 20,000 does seem like a lot.
And
We're doing good though.
no, but I don't
Especially
show it
for
on
a 2-year-old channel.
camera.
Like I'm almost to that point too. Like I don't want to smoke on it.
Well,
Well, anyways, go on.
I listen. I smoke like maybe 2 blunts an episode, but in the editing process, you don't really see too much smoking. I cut when somebody's smoking, I cut that out, and I cut to the person who's not smoking.
What about the lives you do? You do.
I see him with the blunt in his hand.
That's kind of unpreventable.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I try to, like, if I'm sparking my blunt, I try to keep it low, and then I just take a few puffs, put it back on the ashtray. But you know what I'm saying? That could be problematic. Okay. What ended up happening is I had to delete a bunch of videos. Like I'm talking about 150 videos
that were smoking.
Right. Big interviews, like the Young Lava interview, the Smiley interview, Bear interviews, where I used to have a lot of the full shots of the frame, and everybody's smoking, and we were passing blunts those times, different times before COVID. You know.
That's you can't have, like, even with me, like, when I'm doing my coffee streams, I leave my vape alone. When I'm playing Mortal Kombat, sometimes I will grab my vape, because it's to me, it's like a less professional stream. I'm just chilling. It's at the end of the day. My back is usually more painful at the end of the day than it is at the start of the day anyway. Like, so, but I still try not to, like, I try not to have my pen all the time. Like, maybe once or twice in the stream between matches, I'll grab my vape pen. But I try really hard not to smoke anymore, because I used to have my one hitter, and I used to, like, pack it and smoke it on camera, and that's not a good look.
You know what I'm saying? So I could understand deleting videos, but 20,000 videos she deleted. And sorry, just to finish that, once I deleted the videos, then I reapplied. I did the appeal. They seen, okay, everything, the coast is clear. You guys can have the monetization back. Pearl deleted 20,000 videos, and they still said no.
Damn. Well, hey, I thought it would only be
Free her.
It's okay. So as you guys know, back in November, we were demonetized. A lot of people, they said that we were demonetized for stuff we weren't. Officially, what YouTube told us was that we were demonetized for using the word fanny, let's just say.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. I don't believe YouTube's demonetized you for using the word per vagina. I don't believe that. Pearl is also known for cutting up a 15-minute video into 2 or 3 minute shorts. Yep. I would not, 20,000, I could believe
with a T and an R.
Her.
And that women are not as smart as men.
So you got demonetized for being hateful. You got demonetized for literally going against TOS and spreading hate against an entire demographic of people.
But I'm quoting YouTube. And it was really frustrating because I even had a meeting with them and I asked them if I could statistically back up the things that I was saying.
But you can't. You literally can't. Your statistics are made up. I don't even know where you get your statistics from. But they're completely made up.
Would that help anything? They said no. Okay. And this caused us to delete probably, Blessing, 10,000 videos?
Oh,
20,000 videos. So the last 4 years, I learned to edit 4 years ago. And it's like, we've had so many people that have put in so much work here, like Blessing slept on the floor of our studio. There's people that have put in like hundreds of hours. And it was a really tough decision, deciding to delete 20,000 videos because, I don't know, it's 4 years worth of work. But, in my head, the upside was that maybe we could get remonetized and we could just be more careful going forward. We did back them up and they're going on the website, but we were hoping that this would lead us to getting...
years. Let's do this math real quick. Okay? How many we have? I just found this out last night. What was it? 325,000 minutes in a year? 25, I think, what was it? I can't, let's just break this up. Let's just break this. 365 days times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 6 plus 2 is 32. 5 times 3 plus 3 is 18. 320. So 18,318. No, wait. Fuck. I can't do math. What is 365 times 4?
365 times 4 is 1,460.
Okay, I was way off. So, yeah. So that is, so you divide that's a lot of that's a lot of video clips a day
getting remonetized.
We love
and unfortunately I learned 2 days ago that they denied our decision. I'm not mad at YouTube. YouTube has the right to require whatever they want on their platform, but it's very frustrating because they wouldn't tell us why they denied it. They wouldn't tell us.
They did tell you. They literally did tell you. They told you you're being hateful. You broke TOS by spreading hate against a specific demographic of people. That's literally against terms of service, Pearl.
Anything other than hate speech, and that's such a broad definition that we can't even really.
So, hate speech is what they said. She's saying that it was two statements that women or men are statistically smarter than women, and she's like, I guess I could even show you. I could even prove it to you.
But she can't
with the stats, which is crazy. And the other one was for her using the a derogatory term for transvestite, transgender.
Oh, tranny.
I'm sorry, I didn't say the other one.
What did she use?
She used granny, but with a T and an R.
Oh.
Yeah, she said tranny, and I'm telling you right now, YouTube didn't demonetize her for saying tranny. YouTube demonetized her for the context in which she said tranny, and for the context in which she goes around spewing all this bullshit about women and pulls all these stats out of her asshole.
Don't make me have to cut that part out.
What am I wrong?
No, but transgender is the proper term.
Yes.
And she was just probably just flipping the granny.
She competes with Matt Jarbo for uploads, but I still think the quartering does more. I don't think the quartering could. I don't think anybody.
Bird all over the place.
Yeah.
And YouTube ain't having that.
No.
YouTube ain't having that.
Yeah.
They're not having. I don't think it was. She's saying it was the women statistically smarter than, or men statistically smarter than women.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that.
No.
I don't think it's that. No, there's documentaries and there's like YouTube channels that are dedicated to like deciphering things like that and shit. And they say that stuff.
I
Even
think
if it's an unpopular opinion, or if it's a popular opinion or not, like it's not like the end of the world to say that. To be honest.
I think maybe that might have added on, but she also had a whole song where she was singing about the Jewish people, bro.
Yeah,
Yep.
With the banjo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Some straight up anti-Semitism. Straight up, she is literally using her platform to spread actual hate. And YouTube absolutely was in the right to demonetize her channel for that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, fam. Like, she's crashing out, bro. Or we're not crashing out.
What is she?
She's just a white chick from like somewhere in the Midwest or something, I think, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does she have all this money to like do all this?
She has money. Her parents have money.
That's what it is.
She has a fan base too, though.
A
But
huge
I didn't
fan.
realize
Okay,
her
but-
parents had money too.
Yeah, because 4 years ago she said people were sleeping on the studio floor, hundreds of hours in.
Bullshit. I don't believe that. I don't believe people were sleeping on the studio floor. I think Pearl just says what she needs to say to make herself look good.
Like, how do you pay these people?
What studio floor? How'd you get the studio floor?
Well, she already had like the stimmy, right?
Oh, she got
from her parents already.
From her parents, exactly.
Right. The initial putting her on, right? They're not. They're just rich. They're not rich, but they're just well off,
like
regular people.
Own farms and shit.
Whatever.
Midwest.
But her YouTube channel is very successful as well.
Yeah.
Right. Or her YouTube and whatever other platform she's on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like after a while she can't be paying for a lot of that stuff out of her YouTube check. Like,
she gets paid for appearances too in like university.
She was on Piers Morgan and shit the other day, bro.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like she gets around. Like she's
significant.
She's very popular, but that YouTube income, like for what she was pulling in, imagine 20,000 videos. She probably has videos that have millions of views on them.
Yep.
Okay. Once that's demonetized, it's like, why are you even uploading?
No.
That's a good point. If you can't get, unless you're gonna start making people pay to go to your website.
Because everybody's gonna go to her subscription based
her website
platforms.
Yeah.
She has to
Paywall.
reload them there.
Yeah, I think she should do that or do the Rumble route.
That's if she can stay relevant. Because I gotta say, like, this is the first time we've talked about Pearl in a while.
Yeah, true.
Well, she's not meant to
be.
be spoken about. She's not meant to be spoken about every
No.
week, though.
Well,
That's real. She's not that interesting.
No, she's not. And all she is like, I watched Jay Aubrey's documentary on her the other day. And all she is just a girl with low self-esteem who wants desperately to have a husband. And so now she's just spewing all this bullshit, hoping that a red pillar will take her because nobody else will.
If she's trying to compete in the whole RP world, red pill world, or whatever, her job is to stay viral. Like Myron just smashed the glass on the ground the other day, fam. That's viral, bro.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, Myron and Walter are in their own drama right now, so like that's Walter's making babies with people and telling them to kill the babies, and then Myron's like hugging on guys and laying in bed with dudes and cuddling with dudes and saying it's just teammate shenanigans, bro. Or even better, wait. No, you do have to realize with Pearl, they did sleep on the floor for one night because they worked late and didn't want to leave. Or even better, they were up late drinking in the studio and passed out. And they were up late drinking in the studio and passed out around 3, and she just happened to wake up on the floor. That is how Pearl Davis does her magic.
Also, quick thing before we get off of this. Can we agree that the red pill sphere is kind of dying?
Yes.
What do you mean? Like my guys?
Like everything's like, it was hot maybe 2 years ago, like real hot.
Well, it's because everything's now being kind of really exposed. And we don't, like, those people don't really have to say too much because it's really in your face now. Pause.
No, I think RP is here to stay.
No.
It's here to stay, but it's not as buzzing as, like,
It's
fam,
not.
R.I.P. Kevin Samuels, when he was alive, it was on fire. Like, you could not see nothing but RP stuff on the timeline, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pearl loved Kevin Samuels. She like, oh, Kevin Samuels.
And over the last, and even after him with Tate and all the different people that came after, these guys really had to play shaking crazy. And then just the internets or the YouTube and the powers that be just started cleaning shop. And
I don't even think it was YouTube demonetizing them, though. I think it was people with actual brains reacting to this content and going, this is retarded. Like, having people like Destiny have debates with these people and, like, exposing their moronity. I think that's the bigger thing that made this red pill thing kind of fizzle.
Quote unquote Matrix or whatever. Because, fam, Tate's locked up. They took out Sneeko. They took out all bare people that were really pushing that agenda.
Stuff,
you know what I'm saying?
Byron.
Fresh and fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But I think the need for RP is still there because a lot of it is young people just
There's
looking for
no
guidance
need for
on
red pill,
how to
dude.
be a stronger man. I
Man.
mean, sometimes there's some bad stuff in the forums, but I think
Some bad stuff? Some bad stuff. Dude, red pill is like MGTOW on crack.
the intention behind like seeking RP content is like self-betterment and like how not to get finessed by chicks and how to get chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of RP
That's
is like
the
helping
dumbest
guys
thing I've
get
ever
girls.
heard in my life. A lot of RP is helping guys get girls. No, it's not. No, the fuck it's not. What the fuck are you talking about? Who is this dude?
And
Why
like
is he so
helping
stupid?
guys like focus on what matters, like building your body, building your business, whatever, you know?
It should be.
Yeah.
That's the intentions, original intentions. R.I.P. Kevin Samuels once again.
Yeah.
He was the one that was like one of the more real ones, even though people were trying to
seriously,
expose
just
him.
watch the Whatever podcast and you'll see how pathetic the red pill community is. That's what I mean. Why is this guy sitting here going, red pill isn't actually that bad? It's like, what the fuck are you talking
rumors
about,
and stuff.
dude?
Yeah.
But like the guys who
Who
were
are
pushing
you?
the RP, they're all getting like
exposed,
yeah,
you're
bro.
right, you're right.
So like the leaders of it, like fam, Tate and Fresh and Fit, and there was one more guy, the guy with the ponytail. And he's supposed to be the godfather of Red Pill,
Rolo
like,
Tomas.
and they all like big him up.
Rolo Tomasi.
And he's been on Fresh and Fit enough times. The people in the audience who follow this shit, they'll know who I'm talking about, right? There's a white guy. He has like he's bald pretty much, but he just has his ponytail holding on to. He always has a hat on, or like he has like a head tie on his head. He looks crazy. That's like. These are your kings. These are your goats. Like no, bro. Fresh is like
Rolo Tomasi.
Tomasi. Thank you. Thank
They
you.
would call him a
Like,
cuck and then
Sometimes
go
called
home
the
and be
godfather.
literal cucks. Yep. Go home and be hypocritical cucks. Yep. Absolutely. And Destiny never did any cucking. That's not something he was into. Oh! Let's see if my left earbud is ready to be used. Yeah, that's true. Like they would go, you have an open relationship, you're a cuck.
Godfather of Red Pill has been a permanent fixture in the manosphere for 20 years.
These guys look crazy, fam. There's the next guy, the light-skinned dude, who's like,
crazy.
"Oh, you guys, man." He talks like
How
that.
do we
"Oh,
just
you guys,
delete
man.
all this
You
Matrix
guys really think you guys got it
bullshit
going on?" He
I agree.
got married to his. They exposed him because he said
I
he doesn't
agree.
date women over a certain age. Then they exposed this guy because his woman is like 40-something years old, had a kid already that wasn't his kid. So then he did a whole marriage, and he was the guy who was the priest, basically.
What the fuck?
He was like, by the power invested in me, I pronounce us man and wife.
What the fuck? By the power vested in me. By nobody. I pronounce us man and wife. Oh my god.
Like, these are the guys who are running the red pill, fam.
Yo, you don't need a priest to tell you you're married to any woman, though.
Like,
that's crazy.
But fam, like, as a kid, like you said, the red pill, in essence, it's supposed to be good for like young men.
But it's
when they're
not.
looking at the guys who are supposed to be pushing the shit, it's like, I don't know who to follow.
Right, this is who you guys want me to follow, this pipsqueak.
Like they need the RP community needs an emergence of somebody who really is about what they're talking about.
really
fam.
strong.
Yes, sir. Let's go. We need young
Applications
shawarma
are up.
here, man.
Start going on daily runs, start vlogging it.
For all your red pill needs, hit up Young Sharma.
Right.
Yeah,
Hit me up if you need advice, I guess.
we
Am
got
I
a lady
wrong
you can
though?
call.
Like they need somebody right now, fam. It's looking rough out here, bro. Who's left?
I would look too much like a pimp if I was trying to do it. It'd look crazy.
What's that one guy? Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting. He's the black dude. He snitches on. He's beefing with friggin' he was beefing with King Von. Charleston White.
Charleston White.
Charleston.
He's not the king of the red pill.
No,
bro.
But he's
Like,
pretty prominent
he's
right
the king
now.
of-
he's not focused enough to stay on that. Like
I'm serious. The red pill community just needs to go away. That's what needs to happen. We don't need a leader for the red pill community. The red pill community just needs to go away.
Myron, people can say what they want about Myron. He's pretty on point with his rants and like how he tries to really push the agenda. It's just that he has a lot of skeletons in his closet too, fam.
Patrick Bet-David is.
I don't know who that is.
You know the guy who has I don't even know his. It's like Lion Entertainment.
He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. That's a way of putting it. That's a way of putting it. Skeletons in his closet.
Lion something media. Patrick Bet-David. He's a billionaire, I think, but he has a pretty prominent channel, and I'd say he's red pill.
I see.
I typed in Pat is the first one that pops up.
Right. There's also the guys who do the Whatever podcast.
Okay.
I don't know the names of the hosts.
And they're pathetic.
But the white guy who's I think he's the one host there.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. That guy sounds pretty.
They're pretty good.
level.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? What the fuck? What is wrong with these people? Oh yeah, these guys are pretty good. Yeah, these guys are good. You guys, the red pill community is fucking trash and it needs to just go away. There are no good red pillars. I don't understand. Why are these people like talking like the red pill community has any goodness in it at all? Like, I'm sorry, but there is no redemption for the red pill community. Literally no redemption. No redemption. So I don't know what they're talking about. So our next video, I have no idea who this is referring to. It says she's gone forever. I don't know who we're talking about.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. We're still close to 500,000 and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. We're still close to 500,000 and at 500,000 I will oil up for all of you. Let's just get right into the video. You know what? It's been a long time. It's been over 7 months since the last time we talked about Illuminati. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I low-key forgot about this person. It wasn't until someone brought
Illuminati. Oh my god. So guys, have you spotted the theme of today's stream yet? Have you guys figured out what the stream's theme is?
To my attention, hundreds of thousands of subscribers lost later, countless videos made on her, and she still doesn't see what she did wrong. Now I want to give a big shout out to this guy, Matt Caster. He's the one who's been doing these Illuminati lawsuit updates. But before we get into all of this, because it is quite a bit, and I'm gonna simplify this as much as I possibly can because it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of technical
I just realized how tiny that channel is. You just watched the video from 3 days ago and it has like 240 something views. Holy shit.
And even I get a bit confused. I had to watch that video like 2 times to really get the hold of it. But you know what comes first. We gotta check the state of the Illuminati channel. Shortly after the last time that we talked about her, which was, I believe, around this time, she continued to upload. And as you can see, the views just weren't there. 25,000, 25, 24, 23. Ooh. And she kept uploading. And she did have 2 videos that did kind of not horrible, which is this one, 72,000 views, and this one, 62,000 views. The last 4 videos that she uploaded were a complete failure. And some of the videos are still sponsored. She seems to still get sponsorships, which is weird. Like, what company would want to invest or sponsor this channel?
A company that doesn't know about the drama?
Barely 600 likes. No comments because, well, they're turned off. Just no criticism. Just the same attitude. And I truly do believe this is something that could have been completely avoided. If
her comments are still off? Oh my god. And she's probably now down
She would
to
have
like
apologized for being a weirdo, for
multiple
being a
thou-
freak,
like,
for being a snake. I truly do
multiple
believe she
thousands of
could
subs
have
instead
come
of
back from
hundreds of
this,
thousands.
but her ego got the best of her. Tip of advice to YouTubers or just anyone watching: keep it humble. No matter how big you get, no matter how small you are, keep it humble and keep your ego in check. One final update before we get into the video: she's still losing subscribers. About a month and a half ago, she lost 10,000 subscribers. There's a few theories out there to why she hasn't been uploading. Some people think she quit. Some people think that she has a new channel where she's using an AI voice. And other people say that the reason why she hasn't been uploading is because she's focused on the lawsuit. Now,
I would probably guess that. Raid Shadow Legends, probably.
to simplify this as much as I possibly can, Illuminati is currently suing Oz Media, Wonderstruck, and Felix the Kit Kat. These are people that have worked with her in the past. And the cause, defamation, aka they were talking, they made me look bad. A lot of it is true, but I don't like it, so I'm suing you.
Sue them.
Blair, aka Illuminati, alleges that Oz Media and the guys violated their confidential agreements while employed by Blair. And the videos and social media posts made by Oz Media and the guys make statements that Illuminati believes are defamation, aka the people are coming forward to talk about how toxic and abusive working with her is and was. So long story short, Illuminati is suing these guys to keep their mouth shut so they don't speak out. But
stop exposing my bad behavior and the way I treated you. I'm gonna sue you. Like, really? That's not what defamation is, Blair.
working with them, and in some cases even dating her, which is absolutely disgusting. Why would anyone date Illuminati? I'd rather date a 7-Eleven crackhead with AIDS for 6 months than to date Illuminati for 2
God
days. And
damn. That is whoo boy, that is harsh.
what's going on here is that Felix the Kit Kat wants his lawsuit gone, but Illuminati doesn't want that. She wants a lawsuit and everything to keep going through.
First of all, let's take a look at this exchange again between Blair and Felix. So here it is, and I'm going to point out to you again something important. If you look at the date on these messages, it's November 10th, 2020, okay? That's important. The conversation talking about her asking him, hey, you still short on rent? Now, that's not something you ask somebody in the course of business. Hey, are you still short on rent?
No.
No electric and phone. Yes, I am at $2. I'm at $2 right now and no idea what I'm doing for lunch tomorrow, but I'm at the F it, I'll figure it out phase of my life. Does that sound like an employer conversation to you?
Absolutely not. That sounds like friends talking. That is not employee-employer. That is like friends, good friends even.
She's talking to him. It sounds like two friends. She's saying, are you still short on rent? He's saying, yeah, my God, times are tough, basically. And so she says, I have something for you. It's a little tedious. And she's talking about paying him to do this work. Okay, now here's my other question. If he's an employee, why does she have to pay him on the side to do this?
She shouldn't. It should be, I have some extra work for you if you need the extra money. If you want to put in a little bit of extra hours, I can, give you this extra money apart from your paycheck. But
why wouldn't he do this in the normal course of his duties as an employee?
Now, this conversation is important because this is one that I believe is being used at court. If I'm not mistaken, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Illuminati is saying that this is him breaching contract and speaking out against her, what she wanted to do with a former friend and with someone she's worked with, and that is the Click. But as the video goes on, you're going to be able to see that this is nothing. This is completely useless. Wouldn't hold in court. Of course, this is her taking advantage of...
No, text messages are not a contract. And that actually goes to bolster the Click's case.
Someone that doesn't have a lot of money. She's basically saying, yo, do my dirty work and I'll pay you $200 because I know that you only have about $2 to your name right now. Just more of her abusing her power to this person who can barely afford a fucking bag of Fritos.
Right there, that raises a red flag. In addition, again, remember the dates of 2020. It says that he told Blair that in a Sad Milk video, there is something that the clique allegedly said that was controversial.
Okay.
Sad Milk video. Okay, so how is that a pyramid thing?
It's not. It's not a pyramid thing at all.
She's asking him to go through Sad Milk video, which is not Illuminati video.
No, that is a completely different project that Illuminati and is supposed to be separate from. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Sad Milk was completely different.
How is that part of Pyramid, the parent company for Illuminati? How's that part of their business operation?
Now, in case you guys don't know, once again, if I'm not mistaken, because this is stuff that we covered like 11 months ago, I don't remember all the details, but I'm pretty sure the dirt, and I'm using huge quotations here, the dirt that Illuminati's talking about is when the clique said, I think it was the R word, I think the clique said retarded on one of the videos, and Illuminati, despite the fact that she's been shown to use that word, she wanted to use this as ammunition to cancel the clique.
Yeah. She was like, oh my god, the clique said the R word. Meanwhile, there's audio of her saying that.
With this in mind, Illuminati and the clique were friends just a few weeks ago. If not, they were friends at that very moment. So it's just Illuminati being shady for the 50 billionth time. It's like, with friends like that, who needs enemies? Like,
literally.
Extremely common Illuminati L. You can't spell Illuminati without 2 L's. These claims are pretty meh. And I think any respectable judge will look at this following part and be like, yeah, you're finished.
Conversation doesn't sound like an employer-employee
That's
conversation.
Not gonna be...
The extra compensation raises.
They're not gonna do any of that. Like, a judge is gonna look at that and go, and?
This is a red flag, because why would you have to pay him an extra $200 to do a job if he's working for you?
Oz Media was the main voice.
And then it's Sad Milk videos she's asking him to go through, not stuff from Illuminati or from Pyramid. This is the conversation they're saying breaches the non-disclosure. Now here's the thing, folks. This is what blows this whole thing up.
Tell us.
According to Felix the Kit Kat, he didn't start working for Blair until 2021, the following year. And in fact, the date on his agreement shows a 2021 date.
Interesting.
So, not in addition to all the stuff I just mentioned about why this doesn't make sense, was not an employee of hers. Felix, and according to the agreement date, at the time this conversation took place.
So there would have been no contract in place anyway, because he wasn't even working for her at the time.
This is not a work conversation.
No.
He wasn't an employee, and what they're talking about is not work related.
She is cooked. Once again, I'm not an expert. I'm not legal eagle. I am not Saul Goodman. You know, I'm just a guy. But common sense is telling me if the reason why you're suing him is, well, one of the reasons is this conversation because he allegedly broke the contract and breach of agreement. Well, he wasn't an employee at the time of that conversation. It was just two friends going back and forth. Yo, I'm low on money. Yo, here's $200. Find the clip of the clique saying retarded so we can use it as dirt and we can bury him.
That's horrible. Find this clip. I'll pay you $200 because I know you're struggling. So find this dirt for me.
Because I don't like anyone bigger than me. On top of that being a pretty shitty thing to do, and no real friend would ever do that, he wasn't employed. He didn't break any rules, and if the judge sees that and he's like, well, was he employed then? No, he wasn't. It's over. Even if he was employed the day after this conversation, this sounds like she's cooked. On top of everything, suing the 3 guys or 4 guys was stupid to start off. She should have never done this. She's just burning money that she's going to need.
It's like her sending him on a mission to dig up dirt on somebody.
Yeah.
That's
here, you need money? Go find this dirt.
It's not part of her operations of of pyramid. She's not doing an expose on the Click. She's just looking for some dirt to throw mud at Click. She's not like doing a video about it. So this is not part of her normal.
No, she just wants like.
Above all, like I
evidence of a
said,
gotcha.
according to him and according to the date on the agreement, this all took place before he was even an employee and he signed the agreements. So right there, that just destroys their whole argument. The judge should dismiss Felix from the complaint. Let me know down below if you agree.
I do agree that this is complete BS. Suing people because they spoke out on her toxic work environment and they exposed her for being a crazy, insane, shitty person. At that point, you have nobody.
I at this point, I'm in agreement. He shouldn't be on the complaint. He wasn't even an employee at the time. Her evidence is complete bullshit. It doesn't even amount to evidence. And I think it just needs to go away. She just needs to understand that she fucked up and she's done. All right. We have 2 short Can Polly videos because we can't not do any Canadian politics this week. So this is something, Trudeau will do anything to win, and he's yelling at Polyev about not condemning his Alex Jones endorsement, which it wasn't an endorsement. Alex Jones just said, "Oh, Pierre Polyev seems like a nice guy." That's all he said.
Your opponent was photographed posing with anti-carbon tax. Protesters flying F Trudeau flags. In the video.
Notice she's wearing a mask. Can you hear that? I can hear that. She's wearing a mask. It's 2024. Why are you wearing a mask?
Pierre Polyev is heard saying that you are a liar and everything you say is, quote, bullshit.
It is bullshit. You are a liar and everything you do say is bullshit.
Can we get your response, please?
Every politician has to make choices about what kind of leader they want to be. Are they a kind of leader that is going to exacerbate divisions, fears, and polarization?
You mean like you're doing? Like every single day that you speak, live, and breathe?
In our country, make personal attacks, and welcome the support of conspiracy theorists and extremists, because that's exactly what Pierre Polyev continues to do, not just when you see him engaging with members of Diagolon, but also when he refuses to condemn and reject the endorsement of Alex Jones.
He didn't endorse him. He said he seems like a nice guy. What is Polyev supposed to do with that? I don't condone Alex Jones calling me a nice guy. I am in fact an asshole. Like, what's he supposed to say? What the fuck?
Alex Jones is a proven liar and conspiracy theorist who, has to pay hundreds of millions of dollars because he lied about the Sandy Hook killing.
Yeah, that's the only thing he got wrong, really. The rest of it, that's the crazy part about Alex Jones, is he may be insane, but a lot of what he says actually comes out to be true, except for the Sandy Hook shit, and he actually regrets that.
Killed 20 little kids. This is the kind of man who's saying
20 little
Pierre
kids,
Polyev
don't you
has
care
the right
about the
ideas
children?
To bring the country towards the right, towards conspiracy theories, towards
Yeah,
extremism,
that's
towards
exactly what
polarization,
Alex Jones said.
towards the kind of lies that Alex Jones is peddling still. So the fact that Pierre Polyev hasn't stood up to condemn that endorsement, the fact that he continues
because it's not an endorsement.
The kind of divisive approaches to Canada that I don't think Canadians want.
Mr. Trudeau, I don't think you understand how divisive you are. I really don't think you understand that.
To see really shows that he will do anything to win, anything to torque up negativity and fear.
We don't need it torqued up. You're doing a fine job about that yourself, and all we need to do to torque up the fear is just look at what's happening.
And it only emphasizes that he has nothing to say to actually solve the problems that he's busy amplifying.
En français?
No, this, I can't even. The fact that he's able to sit there with a straight goddamn face and say that, first of all, that Alex Jones even endorsed Polyev when all he said was he seems like a nice dude. And the fact that Polyev is like a fearmonger and a conspiracy theorist. Like, all he does is bring statistics and facts. And Trudeau doesn't like that. And then he came out and said, I guess I'm wrong about Sandy Hook. Yes, he did. He did. So Trudeau, like, there's nothing for Trudeau to stand on here. And again, what is Polyev supposed to do? I don't condone Alex Jones calling me a nice guy. I'm in fact a prick. Like, what's he supposed to do? And in this vein, we have a reporter from the Toronto Sun who did a video. It says Trudeau gets a thank you from Hamas, but questions Alex Jones.
Justin Trudeau got a thank you from Hamas, but he wants to question who's saying good things about Pierre Poilievre. Hi, I'm Brian Lilly, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. This week, the Liberals have been all agaga. They have been over the moon. Alex Jones, the conspiracy theory guy who's been on the internet running InfoWars forever, the guy who said Sandy Hook wasn't real, got sued, had to pay lots of money. He said something good about Pierre Poilievre in a tweet. That's it. He put out
a tweet. It wasn't even like a video. He wasn't standing beside Polyev going, this here's a really nice guy. It was just a fucking tweet. Just for the sake of laughter, I want Polyev to say that. What? I don't condone Alex Jones calling me a nice guy. I am in fact a prick.
Put out a tweet saying he's been watching Polyev for a long time and this guy's good. And Trudeau jumped up in the House and said this.
But speaking of misinformation and disinformation, any responsible leader that receives an endorsement and support from proven conspiracy theorist and liar Alex Jones would have immediately denounced that. But
yes, because a tweet saying this guy seems good is a really is a support and endorsement. Yes. Hi, Spittlebuggies.
But that's not what the leader of the opposition did. He did absolutely nothing because those kinds of endorsements.
What was he supposed to do?
Political strategy.
Okay, let me explain something to you. In the grand scheme of things, including in conservative political movement circles, Alex Jones does not amount to a hill of beans.
Nope. Alex Jones is old news at this point. Alex Jones is, for most moderate conservatives, Alex Jones is too much. And Polyev, I would say, is a moderate conservative. He still has some pretty progressive ideas. And I would say that for most Canadian conservatives, Alex Jones is too far.
He does not. The man does not have the traction he once did.
Nope.
And he especially does not have traction in Canada. But here's Justin Trudeau pushing him up to the level of being cited in the House of Commons and demanding that Pierre Poilievre say something bad about that.
Alex is a good boy who didn't... off anyone.
Well, let me remind you what Hamas had to say about the Trudeau government after they voted for a ceasefire without condemning Hamas at the United Nations.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing that Canada voted for. Meanwhile, it's like, no, we can't stand for anti-Semitism in Canada, but we're gonna vote for something that allows Hamas to continue doing what they're doing.
By Canada, Australia, and New Zealand backing sustainable ceasefire in Gaza. We welcome these developments and consider them in the right direction toward isolation the fascist Israeli government globally and ending the longer ever occupation in our modern time.
The evil occupation of the fascist Israeli government. Wow. That's who's thanking you, Trudeau. But Alex Jones saying Polyev is a good guy. No, that's beyond the pale.
Okay, that's Hamas literally thanking Western governments.
Okay, now I don't want the endorsement of Alex Jones, and I don't want a thank you note from Hamas, but in the grand scheme of things, I would take Alex Jones saying nice things about me over Hamas, a murderous, raping, pillaging, brutal, dictatorial, oppressive regime.
Yeah, I'll take the loud, sometimes insane guy saying this guy seems nice over the regime that literally kills thousands of people. I'll take the Alex Jones thing over the Hamas thing. Thank you. That's rich coming from the prison guards.
Saying thank you to me. That is what Justin Trudeau got. You want to talk about who's endorsing who, Trudeau? Give me a break. I mean, look, this is a guy who has said he admires China's basic dictatorship. Yep. His brother wrote a wonderful piece about Fidel Castro when he passed about his superhuman powers. This is a whole family that has been enamored with dictators going back for generations. And Justin Trudeau wants to say Pierre Poilievre has to condemn someone who said something nice about him on Twitter.
Yeah, how dare people make nice tweets? That's just absolutely unacceptable.
I mean, we could go through the tweets and find all the nut bars saying lots of good things about Trudeau, especially those demanding Poilievre distance himself from Alex Jones. You want to talk nut bars? Let's talk about the Truanons on Twitter, or X as it's now called. Trudeau, I don't think you want to go there. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media.
Considering that most of the all of the accounts that support Trudeau seem to suspiciously have lots of numbers after them. You know, just lots and lots of numbers in the account username. That's what you're gonna get with the Trudeau supporters. That's all you're gonna get. All right, we're gonna do our last video, and if you guys still haven't figured out what the theme of today's stream is, I think the video title will tell you what pretending to be disabled looks like. So we've talked about a scam from a family in West Virginia. We've talked about Illuminati. We've talked about Pearl, and we've talked about Trudeau. And now we're talking about pretending to be disabled. Theme of the stream today was fraudsters.
It's the 2000 Sydney Paralympics, and the world had its eyes on Spain, hauling 107 medals in their most successful Paralympics ever. And especially for the intellectually disabled basketball team, dominating Russia in the final game, taking home that gold. But as soon as the celebrations began and the team's picture was splashed across the newspapers throughout Madrid, people stared back in amazement, because these weren't the faces of intellectually disabled athletes, but rather professional basketball players cheating to win the Paralympics.
Oh my god, I bet you that's where that South Park episode came from, because it was in the same time period.
If this sounds f***ed up, it's because it is. And soon, one of the biggest cheating scandals in sports history was about to break. Now, to some, the Paralympics is inspiration porn. To others, it's witnessing athletes overcome their disabilities. Or it's about what every other sport's about, winning. Let me be clear, the Paralympics is not a consolation prize. It's an elite level competition with athletes who train for years just to qualify.
And they have, like, some of the wheelchair basketball players, some of the, like, the wheelchair, their wheelchairs are fucking expensive, man. And they are, like, state-of-the-art wheelchairs.
And they have a disability. But
And like, the runners with prosthetics, like, they have specifically designed prosthetics to accommodate for fast running and all this stuff. Like, it is not a consolation thing.
there lies a question. If all Paralympic athletes have a disability, wouldn't the least impaired one always win? Yeah. So to make the competition as fair as possible on an even playing field, all athletes are medically and performance tested to see if they can qualify together. So for example, an athlete with paraplegia is going to compete against someone with a double knee amputation. But then, what if an athlete held themselves back during testing on purpose? You know, like blowing lightly into a breathalyzer. Well, a few years back during the classification of a paraplegic handbiker, the doctors there discovered that his lower back muscles were twitching. And then like a miracle from God, the man could all of a sudden walk.
Interesting. How fascinating. It's a cure. All you need to do is go for a test at handbiking qualification test.
After he confessed that he had borrowed his friend's wheelchair the day before the event because he wanted to see how far he could go. And of course the guy was kicked out. But what if he were to fake an intellectual disability? Well, for decades you couldn't. The Paralympics was strictly for athletes with a physical disability, and the Special Olympics was for athletes with an intellectual disability. Until this guy came around, Fernando Martín Vicente, head of the Spanish Paralympic program. Now, Fernando was instrumental in getting the intellectually disabled class added to the Sydney Paralympics for the sport of basketball. Now,
interesting. So this guy did this on purpose just to orchestrate his cheating scam.
this was a groundbreaking decision that had never been done. It always had been for decades. Intellectual disabilities and physical disabilities were completely separated. And hopefully Spain wouldn't f*** it all up.
Well, they did. They did. Because they're Spain.
Now, Fernando's cushy job was very simple. More wins and gold medals meant more government funding for his Paralympic program. And while Spain was pretty dominant in most of the Paralympic sports, their new basketball ID team, I'm gonna be totally frank, they weren't too good. That year, they lost a string of minor championships throughout the world, and Fernando tried hiring new coaches, new training regimens, rotating the players, but it wasn't working. So feeling that he's exhausted every measure to improve the team before the Paralympics, he tells himself that just this once, he's gonna bend the rules a little bit. So
Yeah, just this one time. Just this one time, we're gonna hire some not disabled people.
in secret, finds among, friends of the coaches to include 4 players who did not meet the disability requirements, but would raise the competitive level of the team to win. So he puts the 4 players on the team, and they win the Brazil 98. They then win the Poland 99. And then he gets real ballsy and fills the entire team with non-disabled athletes. And of course, he wins the Iberian Cup in Portugal. And
Let's go all the way. Let's have everybody pretend to be disabled.
for a team that was now
It'll be
losing,
fine.
they were now
Nobody will
dominating
notice.
left and right. But
They're
you may
all
say,
stupid,
Vince,
right?
this isn't even the Paralympics yet. Why was Spain already cheating like this? Now, remember the funding that was for his program?
r/fake disorder cringe is the subreddit.
Well, that money was
Oh,
also
shit.
embezzled into his non-profit, the National Association of Special Needs Sports. Fernando had received millions and millions from the Spanish government that he had used to make himself a multimillionaire, all through this little non-profit. Now, with his humble beginnings as a school teacher, in just 5 years of starting this non-profit, he owned 5 wineries, 3 estates, a sports club with a bull ring, a fucking yacht. You see, more gold medals
Jesus
wasn't just
Christ.
funding for his team, but for himself. But like all criminals, Fernando convinced himself that he was doing this for a good cause, because some of that government money would help out the disabled, even though he was taking a huge portion of it for himself, but that's besides the point. But even worse, Fernando now felt that he couldn't win it all without the cheating. He had become addicted to it.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of people become addicted to cheating, and it happens in all sorts of ways. Like this, like through something like this, or even like the small ways, like somebody that plays cards with you, if they're always like looking through their cards ahead, like or trying to see your cards, or like there's always somebody that's just can't help but cheat. I'm pretty sure this is what that South Park episode was based on. Well, it would make sense because that came out in late 2000, early 2001, so that would make sense.
Now for the Spanish basketball ID team, a team of 12 players, he was going to take to the Paralympics 2 players that were actually intellectually disabled. The other 10 were going to be the fakers, the guys that fluffed the game. So you gotta wonder, who the hell were the other 10? He had an engineer, he had an attorney, he had a writer, he had 2 college basketball point guards, and 5 semi-professional basketball players.
God
and together,
damn.
with the promise of a free trip to Australia and hundreds of thousands of dollars in sponsorship money, they were going to rig the Paralympics.
How do you manage to get 12 people involved in a scam like this and make sure none of them say anything?
Now in Fernando's eyes, Spain was guaranteed that gold medal until the plan started falling apart in the second quarter of the first game. You see, Spain was up more than 30 points against China. They were
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's not obvious at all.
Playing so hard, the coach had to call a timeout, sit down the team, middle of the game, and say, move it down a gear or they're gonna figure out you're not disabled. During the day, the team was winning, dominating, and at night, the team and the coaches would celebrate at Australia's hottest nightclubs while they would leave the 2 intellectually disabled players alone in their hotel room all night.
That's fucked up. They didn't even take the 2 intellectually disabled people partying with them. That's fucked up.
And when you really think about that, that's so fucked up. It's the final match, Spain versus Russia. They have one shot, one opportunity to seize everything they've ever wanted. Now, while Spain had to hold back for other teams, Russia made them work damn hard breaking a sweat because Spain almost lost the game. But I said almost because they beat Russia 87-63 and Spain starts popping bottles, celebrating. They're signing sponsorships left and right and they capture the moment on film for the world to see.
Uh-oh, and now people start looking at the film going, these guys don't look very disabled to me.
But as the team flew back home to Spain, rumors began to swirl online because some of these players in their victory picture looked a bit too familiar. Remember that writer that played on the team? Well, that was
No, that's right. Timmy and Jimmy. It was Mimsy and the other guy. Oh, yeah.
Carlos Ribagorda, an undercover journalist, and just 1 week after the win, he blows the whistle on the entire scam of the Spanish Paralympic team.
Oopsies! Maybe you shouldn't be hiring writers to play basketball for you there, Mr. Vicente.
And the world is absolutely blown away.
The Spanish Federation did not hesitate to sign up athletes with any type of disability. Besides taking my blood pressure, there was no medical or mental testing, so corrupt doctors forged documents to prove we were mentally disabled. Spain simply wanted to win more medals. I played pickup basketball, and when a friend offered me the opportunity to play on Paralympic team, I took the opportunity to write an expose.
He plays pickup. They tapped somebody that plays pickup to go on the Paralympic team. Because I guess they were like, hey, any old Joe Schmo off the street can beat a bunch of retards. That's so fucking insulting. That this guy was like, I'll just pick a bunch of people that don't even have to play basketball off the street and they can beat a bunch of disabled people, no problem.
Spain did not just use non-disabled athletes in basketball, but also track, table tennis, and swimming.
Now, in Carlos's eyes, there was one person to blame for this entire thing, Fernando Martín Vicente. But definitely not himself, right? He was exposing the conspiracy by participating in it for over 2 years. He had nothing to do with it, right?
No, of course not.
Now, immediately, the IPC and the Spanish government would open up massive investigations into this entire scandal that wouldn't end for over 10 years. Now, Spain would be ordered to give all of its medals back, and for the 2 players that actually were intellectually disabled, man, I can't even imagine the pain those players must have felt. And
no kidding. They're like, these people are actually trying to be Paralympians, and then they get put on a team with a bunch of able-bodied people who lie and then like ditch them to go party
And now Russia would get the gold medals, right? You would think, they lost the second game. Well, see, the Paralympic Committee investigation found that every country had participated more or less in similar frauds and cheating at the Paralympics.
Jesus Christ.
Let that one sink in real quick.
Every single country had decided to pretend to be fucking disabled instead of actually presenting quality disabled athletes as though those didn't exist. How fucking sad and demeaning is that? Like, seriously, how fucking insulting to the entire global disability community.
Some countries had used athletes with dyslexia, claiming they were intellectually disabled. Australia admitted 3 of its players weren't even disabled. And Russia, they couldn't even prove their players were disabled. So if you look today on the IPC website, it actually lists no one for the gold medal winner. Russia would never get the gold. They couldn't even prove their own players were disabled. So after having this class, intellectual disability, for 1 year, they decided to ban it for 9. Now, online, you read about this scandal. They always portray Carlos Ribagorda, the guy who went undercover, as a hero, the guy who revealed the dark truth. Snaps and claps for Carlos for cleaning up the Paralympics over here. But let's really think about what he did. He pretended to be disabled for 2 years to write 1 article.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't believe that it would take 2 years of this to write 1 article. I think that he
never
milked it. He got what he wanted out of it, and in order to not get in shit, he wrote the
recorded
article.
Any conversations. He never took any photos, documented absolutely nothing. Why didn't he come clean about this earlier? His choice to reveal this whole thing last minute has caused so many athletes to not get sponsorships, scholarships for 9 years. And what I think's revealing is that Carlos to this day has said nothing publicly about this story. Because why did Carlos choose to expose the team only after people started recognizing their picture in the newspaper?
Because he didn't want to get in shit. So he pretended to be an undercover journalist to get out of it.
Well, here's my whole theory. Carlos was in on the whole scam. He was there to make money, he was there to cheat. But once that picture started getting people's attention, he realized, well, in order to save myself, I need to expose the team before the scam exposes me.
Yep.
One of the great unknowns still to this day is, why did any of these 10 players agree to do this? Only 1 player's ever said anything about this, and everyone else has shut up. Now, the team was allegedly told that this was legal and normal. They would be on the Paralympic team as collaborators, and that it was normal to mix teams of disabled and non-disabled players to balance the game, and that this would be more like social work, because all the money that was won would go right back to the disabled, even though
social work. Oh, you're helping the poor disabled by playing on their team, because look at all the money you're gonna give back to the poor disabled.
it went right back in Fernando's pockets, but that's besides the point. But like, how do these players justify this trip to their family? Like, one of these guys was an attorney. Like, how do you justify to your firm, like, oh, I'm leaving for 2 weeks to go play in the Paralympics? And the thing I think is so dumb was they used their real names. Like, how stupid do you have to be? Well, they're Spanish, so that says a lot. Now, when the scandal broke, Fernando sat on the board of the IPC and so many of these nonprofits that focused on intellectual disabilities. And immediately after this thing broke out, he was forced to resign from all of them. Now, his case would take 13 years to finally go through and be charged with fraud. Now, the prosecutor was asking for 2 years in prison for the fraud, for the embezzlement, for the embarrassment of the Spanish people. I mean, this is like the one event you don't want to cheat in. Though Fernando had one comment to make about Carlos.
Carlos, who has been in the basketball team for 2 years, has played in the tournaments, won the Paralympics, but then 20 days later says that he is not disabled. If he was not retarded before, now he is. If someone does something like this, they are disabled.
Fernando's words.
All right then. Somebody has no remorse.
Not
Holy
mine.
shit.
And on the day of his sentencing, he pulled up in his brand new BMW 7 Series, walked in the court, and he was given a €5,400 fine.
That's
and
it.
everyone else in the scandal was let off the hook, and it was a picture-perfect ending. Now, today, Fernando still lives life as the president of his nonprofit that still receives millions from the Spanish government for intellectual disability. He owns all
That
his
is
properties,
so
he's traveling around the world, he's living the life. But I wonder if all of the people he's helping out really know about what he's done.
Of course they don't know. Of course they have. I really don't think they know. What a piece of garbage. Holy crap. What an entitled, horrible piece of crap. Oh my goodness. And that, my good friends, brings us to the end of our show. This has been another coffee stream with the theme of fraudsters. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back tonight for the combat hour. We're going to go and get closer to that Astra gear. Tomorrow night, I'm going to set up some training sets between me and some other people. We're going to call it Friday Fights, so that should be fun too. But be sure to come by tonight and hang out with me in chat. And I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing rest of your Thursday afternoon, and I will see you tonight. Bye, everybody.